Hey, this is Notser, and we're in the Tier 10 British battleship Conqueror on the map Warrior's Path. What an appropriate name for a ship, what an appropriate name for a map. Build is on the screen, module build, very typical, better rate of fire, concealment, accuracy, fire, that sort of thing. From a commander standpoint, slightly different. I decided to go with a Conqueror main, and I know someone mains the Conqueror. What a terrible person. I would agree, he is a terrible person, but he actually enjoys playing all of the Conqueror and not just spamming high explosive from maximum range. So I want to try and make full use of the capabilities, AP, HE, heal, tankiness, everything about the ship. My commander is not a 19, not yet, but we're on the road to 19, and I feel pretty confident about that. This game started out really, really bad, and we're gonna just try. So, enemy Minotaur is attempting to fire on the friendly Gearing, who is very aggressively going for B. And clearly, that is not gonna work out. So I try to just blind fire into the location that the enemy exists, hoping to get something. Looks like I got one shell, and we incapacitated 2 modules. Have no idea what 2 modules, but it caused him to stop firing. At least I interpret it as such. And then over by A point, we don't have any DDs over here. Our DD is at B, and our DD is at C. There's an enemy Cleveland attempting to camp the typical radar location, and I've got sort of a crossfire position. I've got just enough of him that I can nick him for 5,000. And maybe this is going to encourage him to not camp on the corner of the island that so many people do. Ranked, random, it doesn't matter. Get the hell out of here, radar. Gosh, I hate radar. It's what I'm supposed to do. Battleships, you gotta counter the radar. You are the reason there's so much radar battleships. You pick on it. You pick on it until it's dead. Since I can't fire on the Cleveland because the island was in the way, I chose to fire on the Rune. And we got a fire, which he puts out, but that means he's vulnerable to fire for the next 20 or 25 seconds. It would be a great time to type it out, Notser, to your team. And you're not going to do that. Okay. I would love for them to add in some sort of call out that damage control was used on the enemy. It is absolutely reasonable to expect someone to type it out if they get the chance, and I absolutely got the chance. But it would be so much better wargaming if it was just a built-in hotkey. First shell from the friendly. Fire on the target. I get 9,200. 4 shells. Incapacitate. Absolutely no fire. And I'm just like, really? No fire? I absolutely hit the back half of the superstructure and it costs no fire. Really? Enemy Cleveland, for whatever reason, shows himself. And this buffalo is in trouble. Definitely overextended. Definitely the worst case scenario. 2 battleships have a slightly different angle from 2 cruisers who are actively firing on him. I don't know what I can actually do, but I'm going to try to prevent the Cleveland, prevent the Rune from openly firing. Maybe the Buffalo can hide more effectively, but he's too wide open. Way too wide open. He was too aggressive moving forward. There's no reason to move into a point if there's a radar ship there. I don't care if you're a DD, a cruiser, or a battleship. You're going to take attention. And if there's someone on that flank, they're going to fire on you. So it was a meaningless gesture. He's going to die, most likely, and we're going to be down more ships. Yeah, there he goes. But the Z-52 is conveniently out in the open with the Gearing sitting in a smoke. I think the Z-52 attempted to try and snipe him with hydroacoustic, but he just was taking too much damage as he was trying to cover that distance, and before he actually dropped off detection, the friendly Gearing was able to take him out. I took a shot, hoping to keep the Gearing alive, and that's exactly what happened. Did my shot actually keep him alive? Well, no, of course not. But If you recognize that a teammate is in trouble and you try to contribute something to stopping that, you might find it's actually going to work sometimes. So try every single time to keep a teammate alive. Don't hold back. Please don't do it. So we get one fire on the GK. Unfortunately, it's the space camo, so I can barely see the fire. But I see a slight hue of blue around the superstructure. And I'm just trying to fire while trying to get over to B point, because look at the points! We've only got 70 now! We've got 5 ships dead! We're basically a ship and a little bit away from dying, so we gotta make something happen. Enemy Minotaur is attempting to dodge the torpedoes. Is he gonna dodge them? I think he will. So I'm gonna unload my HE, hoping to maybe Citadel, because it's the Minnow, it has terrible armor. We don't Citadel, but we do 8800. Cause a fire. And just looking around, friendly gearing, intelligently disengage from B point. A light cruiser is absolutely the hard counter to any DD. So he recognized that Cleveland was no longer in a position to deny A point, and he's capturing it. Fantastic play by the gearing, recognizing that. And I would love to take out one of these cruisers, but the Minnow drops off. This Cleveland looks... Oh, yes, this Cleveland. He is attempting. I think he's attempting to try and deny it. I'm going to attempt to try and deny his deny. I want to exploit the fact that he is rushing for that rock. And this is the one position that I can take him out. And he's yelling, no! We take him out. We hit tons of shells on the target. 2 fire. I mean, just the perfect high explosive salvo. If it was AP, it would have just massively destroyed him. And that's great. I preemptively switched to AP because I did want to exploit the Minnow. He drops off just as my shells are ready to fire. I fire anyway, hoping to maybe predict the angling that he's going to do. And oh yeah, we predicted all right. Citadel destroyed him. We brought this from the brink. It was so close. I think it was like 25 points at one point. But 2 kills back to back. We're going for B point. Friendly is already attempting to capture. We've captured A point. Enemies are moving forward to try and take out the friendlies, and I fire off a AP salvo. I didn't recognize that the Des Moines had shown up there. I should have probably held off and saved it for the Des Moines. I don't know if the Des Moines knows that I have AP loaded. A lot of players will underestimate the Conqueror ability to load AP, and I wouldn't blame them. Most people, they only load one type, but I am not one of them. And this enemy Des Moines showing a ton of sight. He's angling away. We do 32,000 damage. Well, just under 32,000 damage. Citadel, he's barely alive. Friendly is going to finish him off. Friendly is going to finish him off. Yes, good job, friend. B point successfully captured, and another enemy ship gone. I choose to use my damage control and heal myself up. Obviously, the Conqueror's just gaining all its color back very quickly. It's very impressive, honestly, just how resilient it can be. And yes, I know that's a huge trait of it. The enemy is trying to take out the friendly GK. Looks like the friendly gearing dies to the secondaries of the GK, and looks like my GK will be able to take out the enemies. Gorosakua first, but there's still one more enemy GK, and that means that we're going to lose ours. However, the last known position of an enemy DD was just before entering this channel between B and C point, and I'm wondering, did he continue forward? Oh yes he did. Oh yes he did. So just fire off one shell. Bada boom. Sticks in the ship, knocks him out. No torpedo threat whatsoever. Enemy Des Moines is openly firing, and I get to see him. He's trying to camp behind the island, and that's cool and all, but battleships are definitely going to try and take you out. Yamatos, 2 Yamatos. My AP does almost no damage to him. Friendly GK is dead over by A point, and they will be able to capture it. But Friendly Yamato takes out the enemy Des Moines, and there's only 2 battleships who are attempting to move over and maybe group up with their teammates. They're going to be in the north of B Point. I don't know if they attempt to go down this little area. I was fearful that maybe they would catch on that I'm all by myself and push into a very vulnerable location. 2 versus 1. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Friendlies are pushing up on the east. Friendly Henry is going towards the enemies at A Point. Seems a little bold, but we've got to try, right? This is a game where any moment could have been the difference between it ending early and us losing, or the comeback continuing. And it's really important. Obviously, as a person who enjoys winning, I don't want to lose. So I get a nice AP salvo on the Montana. Clearly he's thinking, oh, it's a Conqueror. He only has high explosive. Well, no, that's not true. No matter how much the community wants you to believe, it's definitely not true. So I'm just trying to shove in some rounds. Doing okay, but I definitely feel vulnerable. Isolated, even. I want to try and make like a tree and get out of here. I want to go over to the island right in front of me and attempt to line of sight these battleships quickly without showing too much side. Enemy Massachusetts fires. Looks like the Montana is attempting to angle out. He does great damage, honestly. Wow, outstanding Massachusetts. 2 fires on me, and it's not looking good. Friendly Henry dies, unfortunately. It looks like he got torpedoes off on the enemy, though. And is he going to die to dots? I think he is. He does. He dies to a flood fire combination, and it's a 1-to-1 trade. We needed that. If that GK is allowed to survive and maybe heal back up, it's 4 versus 1 over by B Point. I don't want any of this. I'm trying to stall it out as my teammates are coming. Notice that Adam is like, coming, Notser, we're coming. So I just want to stay in a position where they can't see me. And unfortunately, there is an annoying aircraft flying overhead. I want to take him out, but I can't see him. He's inside of my detection range aircraft, but definitely not inside of my AA, and it looks like maybe we'll get a chance. Please just take this guy out. I don't want the Rune firing on me. I want to try and keep these battleships. Yeah, look at the battleship. Try to maybe angle out so he could engage me, but I know I would be at a disadvantage, so I choose to stall it out, and that was a great decision. There's no reason to push it. The worst thing you can do is do something where you feel like you're overrun by multiple enemy ships. Don't do that. Just cut the corner, keep 1 or 2 enemies in line of sight, fire on them, try and manipulate the line of sight game so they can't contribute to their teammates if they're behind the island like this Montana. And do the best you can. I still am taking stupid fire from aircraft, and it looks like it's actually landing on the Massachusetts, so his detection should go away. There it goes. Okay. A fire burning on a Conqueror, no big deal. My heal is outstanding. Best in the game. So I'm cool. Teammate is getting angle. We've got 1 Yamato that's coming up to back me up on this flank, and then there's another one that's trying to head straight north and get an angle to fire on the enemy. Now, the Massachusetts was, I want to say he was at 7,000 health, but he got a heal. The Massachusetts is one of those sort of zombie ships. It recovers like no other. So you need to really kill it. And this Rune showing a perfect broadside. We do 13,000. Not a single shell sticks in the ship for a Citadel, but, we did good damage. If a Citadel, that would have punished him way harder. And, yeah, more AP, try and angle as best as I can. We're going to focus our fire on the Massachusetts. That was the call on comms, and I absolutely agree. If we all fire on this guy, he can't angle against Yamatos all firing. Friendly Armored Twinkie takes him out, and that enemy Rune attempted to fire, but he's kind of behind the island, so we're cool. Enemy Montana behind the island on the northern side of A. We've got an advantage, almost. We are so close to getting our first lead of the game. Isn't that outstanding? We had 25 points away from losing, and we've brought it all the way back to finally having a lead. This is so fantastic. I love the fact that we were able to come back. Those cruisers, AP, those cruisers. It's very clear that AP is still far superior against those cruisers. A lot of devastating strikes, or just a lot of 50% live cruisers, or just under, that just came to the wrong neck of the woods and able to fire on the Montana. I have high explosive loaded. I'm attempting to get to the south, so we have some more crossfire. Since I'm going south, I'm going to have more of his bow. High explosive makes sense, right? There's logic in these decision making. Friendlies are continuing to fire on him. He's continuing to burn. Enemy rune openly fires, but unfortunately, friendly has no line of sight. I don't have an aircraft, clearly. I would have to rely on the friendlies, and it looks like Yamato in the north chooses to use his aircraft, which I hope detects the rune. And enemy Montana, oh my god, the rune is so low. And, oh, I can actually fire over this island, so of course I'm going to fire on this guy. Friendly fires, gets him almost. I fire, and I just need one to make contact. And, oh, yeah. Definitely dead, and definitely all on this Montana. Now, one thing that occurred, I believe that Montana had to go AFK because his wife got home with groceries. I'm sure everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about who's ever played a video game. But regardless, I don't know that that would have been the difference. Maybe it would have. I felt like I stalled it out long enough for my team to show up. I think that was the window where he was attempting to maybe, help his team, but because he had to unload, he was away from the keyboard and couldn't. This game was great, though. I felt like I made the right choice in a lot of moments that kept the team alive. So did multiple friendly ships. It was a collective effort to bring this from the brink all the way back to a victory. 10 kills on the top 3 ships on our team. No surprise, just outstanding shots, outstanding selection. Hopefully you enjoyed this game. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.